The gentleman from Texas is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is so wild to me that when we talk about an issue that so much indicts the Biden administration for the laws they were breaking, that the only thing Democrats can do is call it a dumb hearing, talk about bird flu, and say, here's one that one of my colleagues said, Joe Biden is gone and we need to be looking at what's happening right now. They spent the last 4 years talking about Donald Trump after he left office. And now that the American people got what they wanted, which is another 4 years of Donald Trump, they don't want to talk about Joe Biden. You know, I don't want to talk about Joe Biden either, but I do want to acknowledge the lawfare, the censorship, which is the whole point of this hearing. And, you know, I'll mention, I'm glad that inflation was brought up because I do believe that we're going to finally head in a good direction. But my colleague from California just spent 2 minutes talking about eggs and the cost of eggs. The cost of eggs were up a month ago, which is why the Biden administration appropriated or spent $300 million on bird flu. I'm not even going to blame Joe Biden for the cost of eggs or Donald Trump. We got a bird flu going on. And yeah, it's terrible. But let me tell you something else that's terrible. And that is what this committee uncovered that my colleagues from the left said wasn't a real thing. And that is that big tech platforms changed their content moderation policies because of pressure from the Biden-Harris White House. The Biden-Harris White House's censorship campaign targeted true information, satire, and other content that did not violate the platform's policies. No one on the other side of the aisle has indicated that they have a problem with that. They've complained about Elon Musk, who is a private citizen who runs a private company, perhaps not the way they want him to. But they've not acknowledged that the Biden-Harris White House was pressuring and instructing these companies to censor conservative speech or speech that they did not like. I'd love to insert into the record, I don't know if my colleague from Dallas County inserted this letter from Meta's Zuckerberg on August 26. But he spent 2 whole pages talking about all the things that he was pressured to do by the Biden White House. And this was after Trump said, I'm going to lock up anyone who interferes in this election. My colleague from California mentioned that as if that was some terrible threat to make. I'm going to defend the integrity of the election. Well, after Trump said that, this letter came out as if Mr. Zuckerberg was admitting, which he did, that they'd been breaking the law because the White House had asked them to. Mr. Schellenberger, I'll ask you to comment, if you will. I haven't heard any outcry or condemnation from the left about all this censorship from the Biden White House. I want all the censorship to stop. But what am I missing here?
You're not missing anything. I mean, look, the whole censorship industrial complex was created by Democrats. I mean, it's really quite disturbing and depressing when you think about it. I mean, I was raised on the radical left, and what we had in common with the liberal left was that we supported the Brandenburg ruling. We supported Skokie. We Democrats were supposed to believe in supporting allowing like Nazis to march through neighborhoods of Holocaust survivors. That's what the Supreme Court has upheld. That's how radical America's commitment to free speech is. So when I hear members of Congress complaining that people said something racist online and they weren't censored, I'm offended as an American by that. I mean, free speech is we do a lot of things badly in the United States. The one thing we do well and have done well for 250 years is protecting free speech. So when you see an entire political party get behind weaponizing government to put their main political rival in prison, create an elaborate censorship industrial complex, run lawfare, run information operations against their fellow Americans, it's very disturbing. And so I think that the fact that we're still talking about what happened, we should be talking about what happened. It was a woke reign of terror for the last 12 years where people were scared to say their mind in public, in private, and we had these elaborate governmental apparatuses in place to aggressively censor behind the scenes using law enforcement organizations to do it. So I think that the fact that we're all still a little upset about that and that we're very concerned about what the Europeans are doing, I think should be a little bit more understandable for those of us that were raised in the true liberal spirit of the left.
I appreciate that. I yield back.